I'm Amit Diwan, the trainer of this SQL course. I have taught more than 20 technologies including programming languages and databases. RDBMS is the basis for SQL, that is SQL stores data in RDBMS. Now what is RDBMS? RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System, which stores data in a table form, that is rows and columns form. This SQL course basically covers Microsoft SQL Server and its concept for beginners. If you want to learn SQL from the beginning itself, then this course is for you. We have used the free and open source Microsoft SQL Server Express Edition to learn SQL and its concepts. All the database queries and examples are provided with the hands-on live running experience. In this course, we have covered the following lessons with more than 100 plus live running examples. So guys, let us now begin with the first lesson, that is SQL Introduction and Features. Let's start. In this video, we will learn what is SQL, its introduction and overview. So let's begin. At first, we need to understand what is RDBMS. So RDBMS is Relational Database Management System. To understand RDBMS, herein you can see we have a table. So since childhood, we are creating these tables with rows and columns, right? So this is what we call RDBMS. That is a relational model. Relational means relation between rows and columns. Okay, these rows and columns. So this is what we have shown here. RDBMS, it's a form of a table. That is, a table has rows and columns, and a database has group of tables. So that means a relation. A relation of rows and columns is called table, and this is what we call RDBMS. So Relational Database Management System. Okay. This is the basis for SQL. So now you would be wondering the difference between RDBMS and DBMS. RDBMS is just an advanced form of DBMS. Okay, so it is having relational DBMS. That means a relation between tables, a relation between rows and columns. So RDBMS is the basis for SQL, MySQL or MySQL, Oracle and other related databases. So RDBMS, I have told you before, it stores data in the form of tables, and tables is having rows and columns. Herein we have 4 rows. That means rows are always horizontal entry. Okay, you can see. And columns we are having 5. So columns are vertical entries. Okay, so this is what we have shown here. Now what is SQL? SQL is a structured query language, and RDBMS is the basis for SQL that I have told before. That means it will store the data in RDBMS form, that is in the form of rows and columns. Okay. And it is governed under ANSI, that is American National Standard Institute, as well as International Organization for Standardization, ISO. So these two RDBMS have been developed by Microsoft. So we'll be covering these two in SQL. Okay, so this is the current version developed by Microsoft. It is used to create and maintain database, to create tables, database and maintain it. Within that, Microsoft also provides SSMS, that is SQL Server Management Studio. Here it is. We will be using this to work on SQL. You can say it is a UI for SQL that will allow you to easily create database tables, work on operations, clauses, operators and other stuff in SQL. So guys, in this video we saw what is SQL, how it is different from RDBMS, how we can work through SQL software so that we can create tables, create databases, tables, rows and columns. We also saw the relation between them. Hello guys, in this video we will learn about the difference between SQL and NoSQL. So we will cover this difference with examples. Let's begin. So guys, SQL follows the relational model, that is the RDBMS model, that old school way of creating tables with rows and columns. So this is what SQL supports. And NoSQL is completely different. It supports various formats like document and storing data in the form of key values, graph, nodes and other stuff. So SQL came in 1970, so you can say more than 50 years it's been around. And NoSQL just came in late 2000, you can say. Examples, SQL is basically RDBMS, so all the databases related to RDBMS will get covered under SQL. MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, all are part of RDBMS, and all these are based on RDBMS. Regarding NoSQL, the biggest example, one of the most trending databases right now is MongoDB, which is document based. With that, we can also store data in the form of key values. using the Redis database, using white column, using Cassandra and HBase. So the usage here, SQL is generally used to store data in the form of tables, rows and columns. Let's see an example. At first SQL, you can see the SQL example. We have shown MySQL here. As I told you before, SQL saves data in the form of rows and columns. It's based on RDBMS, that means based on relational model. Relation between rows and columns in a table, here it is. You can see the relation between rows and columns. So these are our columns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, employee ID, first name, last name, employee age, employee zone, and these 4 are our rows. Okay, so as I told you, tables are having rows and columns, and a database is having a collection of tables. So this is what we call SQL. That is, as I told you, tables with fixed rows and columns is what we call a model for SQL. That is a relational model. Okay, now talking about MongoDB, I told you before it saves data in the form of documents key value pair. That is completely different from SQL. So this is the document based MongoDB database. We have 4 columns here: ID, department name, department manager, and department rank. So you can see the database here under NoSQL, under MongoDB. Documents have fields, and collections is having documents, like tables is having rows and columns. In this, collections have documents and fields, and database is a group of collections. In the same way, in SQL, database is a group of tables, and this works for MongoDB, but it saves the data in the form of in document based form or key value form. Okay, so this is what we have shown here: document based, key value form, white column form, and graph form in NoSQL. So completely different from our old school conventional SQL schemas. It is rigid and it is flexible. NoSQL is a flexible database, you can say. You can store the data in all these forms, different forms: document, key value, graph, multi-record, asset transactions. So it is supported by SQL. Here in NoSQL doesn't support it, but MongoDB will still support it. So asset transaction are basically an acronym for atomicity, consistency, reliability, and durability. These are basically database operations, and this asset ACID is known as asset properties, or you can say asset transactions. So guys, in this video we saw how we can differentiate SQL and NoSQL. So for SQL, the biggest example is Microsoft SQL, and for NoSQL, MongoDB is an example. So guys, thank you for watching the video. In this video we will learn how to install the current SQL version on Windows 11. Let us start. At first, go to the web browser. On Google, type SQL Server and press enter. The official website is visible, that is microsoft.com. Click on it. So we have directly reached the downloads page. We will mention this link in the video description as well. After reaching here, directly click the downloads menu. Now Microsoft SQL Server versions are visible. Go below. Here you can see SQL Server 2025 is visible. We will go for the free edition, that is the Express edition. So just click the download now button. The download started, let's wait. So we have downloaded the installer file for SQL Server. Right click and click open to begin the installation. Minimize. The setup started. You need to select an installation type. I'll go for the basic installation. Click on it. Now the license is visible. Click accept. Here the SQL Server installation location is visible. It will get installed in program files, and it will only take 727 MB. Not a problem. Click install. Now Express edition will download, then install. Let's wait. Installation completed successfully. Here the connection string is visible. This is used to connect SQL with programming languages like Python, Java, and others. This is the log folder. The following is the installation media folder, and here is the installation resources folder. Now you just need to click connect now. If the following is visible, that means we successfully installed SQL Server. But we need to work on SQL. For that we will install SSMS, which is SQL Server Management Studio. This will easier work on SQL. Click install SSMS. Now it will redirect us to the official website of Microsoft. Okay, so you don't need to worry. Here it is. Go below. Here is the latest version. Click here. Download SQL Server Management Studio. We downloaded the installer file. Right click and click open to begin the installation. Minimize. So here it's written click continue. Now it will get the Visual Studio ready for SQL only. Okay, so you don't need to worry, just wait. So here our workloads are visible for SQL Server Management Studio. Here I'll select all the 4 components: AI Assistance, Business Intelligence, Hybrid and Migration, and last Code Tools. It will take 3.5 GB. So you just need to click install, because install while downloading is by default selected. Click install. Now it will start download and then it will install. Let's wait. We have installed it. It's written done installing. Click OK. Now we can directly click launch here, or we can go to start and type SQL Server Management Studio. Here it is. It's the same. We can click open here, or we can directly click launch. I'll click launch. Minimize this as well. Now click skip and add accounts later. Now SQL Server opened for the first time. Here we need to add the server name. So for the server name, go to start, type about. After typing about, click here, open under about your PC. Now you can see your device name is Amit. Okay, so minimize. Enter your device name here, Amit, and after that type /SQL Express. Okay, after that under encrypt, select optional, and that's it. Also here you can see under username it's written Amit, so we added it perfectly. Now let us click connect, and our SQL connected. Guys, SQL Server opened for the first time. In this video we saw how to install the current SQL version on Windows 11. With that we also saw how to connect and open it for the first time. In this video we will learn how to create a new database in SQL Server. So let us start. In the last video we saw how to download SQL Server Management Studio and we installed it. After that we also opened and connected SQL for the first time. After opening, the following will be visible. So now we will see how to create a new database. We can close this. To create a new database, go to the left section under Object Explorer, and here you need to click Databases. When you click Databases, the System Database section is visible. Click on it. Here 4 databases are visible. These are the default databases provided by Microsoft SQL Server. We need to create a new database. So you can directly right click and click New Database, or you can go to New Query, click on it. When you click here, a section is visible. So what I'll do, I'll type a command to create a database. The create database command is used to create a database. After this, mention the database name. Let's say my database name is AmitDB. If your database name is student or company, you can add the same here. So this is the syntax. After that, click execute. After clicking execute, here you can see commands completed successfully. That means we successfully ran the command and created a database. In the bottom it's written query executed successfully. If you want to zoom in or zoom out, you can select these options. Now you would be wondering, the database is not visible here. Why? Because we did not refresh it. Click refresh. Now you can see AmitDB database is visible. When you click here, you can create a new table here. So we will see this in the upcoming lessons. So guys, we saw how we can create a new database in SQL Server. Thank you for watching the video. In this video, we will see how we can easily create a new table in SQL Server. So herein right now we created a new database using create database, database name. Herein our database name is AmitDB. In the Object Explorer, you can see under databases, we have AmitDB database. So guys, now we need to create a new table. We'll be creating an employee table. For that guys, first we need to use AmitDB and enter the database. We typed use space database name, selected it, and now click on execute. You can see command completed successfully. That means we have entered the database AmitDB. Now we can easily create a new table. So guys, to create a new table in SQL Server, we use the create table command. So let's write create table, then the table name. So let's say the table name is employee. Now open the brackets, close it, and use semicolon. Inside this, we need to add our columns. That is which columns we need to add with its type. So at first I'll be adding ID. ID will be in int, right? So it's fine, comma, press enter. EMP name, that would be employee name, and the same will be in varchar. Let's add the value, comma, then comes city, varchar only 255, comma, then the last we can add a salary for our employees, which will be in int for obvious reasons. So everything looks fine guys. Now we have added 4 columns. I'll select it. We could have also added primary key and another constants in it. That means not null, check constant, default, but I'll explain all these in a new video. So right now I am just creating a basic table. I'll select this and click on execute. After clicking execute, you can see commands completed successfully. That means we have successfully created a table. Now guys, on the left Object Explorer, we need to click on refresh, so that the same new command we executed gets executed here itself. Now I'll just click on AmitDB. On clicking, I'll click on tables. Now you can see our table created successfully. Here are the columns. The same 4 columns. So guys, in this video we saw how we can easily create a new database and table in SQL Server. In this way you can create a new table using create table command. So guys, thank you for watching the video. In this video we will see how we can insert records into a table in SQL Server. So herein first we created AmitDB database using the following command. Then we created a table employee. You can see the database we created AmitDB, here it is. Under that we created employee table. The employee table we created is having 4 fields. The first one is int and the last one is int, that is int. ID and salary is int, integer, and employee name and city are being given varchar types, data type. Now let us insert a record. For inserting records, we'll be using insert into command. Let's write. So here we wrote insert into employee. Insert into employee is a table name, as you can see here. Now let us mention the fields one by one. ID. When you will type, it will automatically show under autocomplete. Press enter. City. Select and press enter. Salary. Select and press enter. So it's easy. Now write values and insert records one by one. At first we will insert only a single row. So for ID, let us write 1. Let us enter in quotes. Employee name, let us write Tom. City, let us write a sample ABC. Salary, let us write any value in it. Okay, so now it's fine, semicolon. Now we will select this and click on execute to enter the first row in our employee table. Here you can see the messages, drag it. You can see one row affected, completion time. That means we have successfully added records in the table. Now let us see the record we have added using the select star command. Select star from table name. Table name is employee, semicolon, select it and execute. After executing, in the result section, you can see we successfully added one record in the table. Okay, now for another record, let us implement the command again. Let us add the second record, Emma. Okay, now execute it, select it, click on execute. One row affected. Now let us mention the command again. Select star from employee. That's it. Select it and execute. That's it. Now you can see we have inserted two records, ID, employee name, city and salary. In this way guys, you can insert records in your Microsoft SQL Server table using the insert into command. In this video we will see how we can easily select data from a database. That means if you want to fetch records from a table in a database, you can easily do it using the select statement. So right now we have a database, AmitDB. Within that we created employee table. Now let us see how we can fetch all the records of the employee table. It's very easy. So at first we will enter the AmitDB database using the use command. Click on execute. Query executed successfully. That means we have entered AmitDB database. Now we need to fetch all the records from the employee table. So we will use select star from employee, semicolon. Select is our statement. So employees are table. Now I'll select it and click on execute. On clicking execute, you can see all the records from our employee table are visible. Now this is how we fetched all the records. Now let's say you need to fetch the records for specific columns. That means let's say you need to only get the ID and employee name. For that, use select, mention the name of the columns, that is select ID comma emp name from table name employee. That's it. Select it and click on execute. So herein you can see only ID and emp name we fetched from the employee table. This is how you can use the select command. So guys, in this video we saw how we can use a select statement on Microsoft SQL Server. We fetched all the records and we also saw how we can fetch specific column records. So guys, thank you for watching the video. In this video we will see how we can fetch the distinct records in MS SQL Server. So right now we have AmitDB database. That's why we have used AmitDB command so that we can enter the AmitDB database, our database. Within that we have created an employee table with some records. Now let's say first we will fetch all the records of the employee table using the, I hope you know, select star from employee, semicolon. Now selected, we saw the same in the previous video. Click on execute. Below under results you can see these are our records. But guys, what we want, we need to fetch the distinct records. Herein you can see the city of some of the employees are same. So if we want only distinct, that means different records, we need to use the distinct command. Let's say select distinct. So enter the column name which is having duplicate records so that we can display the record without duplicacy. So it is city. Select distinct city from employee, semicolon. Now let us select this and click on execute. After clicking execute, only city will be visible, city column, but the repetitive values won't be visible. Here repetitive values are ABC and PQR. You can see it is repeating here, PQR is repeating here, and ABC is repeating here. I'll click on execute. Here you can see the distinct values of city is visible because we use the distinct command. So guys, in this video we saw how we can use the select distinct to display only distinct different records. In this video we will see how we can filter records based on a condition using WHERE clause. Right now we have our AmitDB database. We have entered it using the following command, use space database name. After clicking execute, we entered it. Inside that we have a table, employee table. So let us first see all the records of the table using the select star from table name.
table name is employee, that's it, semicolon. Select this and click on execute. On clicking execute, you can see we have 4 columns: ID, EMP name, city and salary. So let's say we need to fetch records on the basis of some condition. We want to fetch the employee name with salary 8,000. So let's see how. Herein at first display only the EMP name, write select EMP name from employee. Now let us write the condition, or we can also write like this: where, what I said, where the salary is equal to, where the salary is equal to 8,000. So herein only the employee name will be visible. For salary 8,000, that means Emma will be displayed. Select this and click on execute. Now you can see only Emma is displayed. Now let us modify the query. Now select star from employee where salary is equal to 8,000. That means all the records of the employee name Emma will be visible because we have set the condition as salary 8,000. So I'll select it, execute. Herein you can see only the record, only the row of the employee name Emma is visible, complete row, complete record, because we have set the condition as salary 8,000. Now let us display this again. You can see now what we need to fetch. Let's say we need to fetch a text record because right now we fetch the numeric record. Let's say I want the record of the employee with name as Jenny. So let's say where name as Jenny, that means EMP name is equal to Jenny. Okay, but we need to add the quotes for texting, for string, because the type was varchar here. Before that we went for salary, which was int, so no quotes were required in that. So everything looks fine. Select, click on execute. Now only Jenny records will be visible, employee name Jenny, execute. Herein you can see all the records of the employee name Jenny is visible because we use the where clause. So guys, now we can move further and change the condition. Before that, let us display the records of the employee table again. Now let's say I want the records of employees whose salary is greater than 7,000. So let's say what I need to write here, the field name salary is greater than what I said, 7,000. I can also set equal to here, the greater than equal to operator. Okay, that means salary greater than equal to 7,000. So the output should be greater than equal to 7,000 means equal to 7,000 also. The output should be Tom, Emma, David and Henry. Let's see, execute. Herein you can see Tom, Emma, David, Henry, because salaries of these employees are greater than and equal to 7,000. So guys, thank you for watching the video. In this video we will see how we can easily order records in SQL Server. So we use the order by keyword to sort the records in ascending or descending order. The default for order by keyword is ascending order. So ascending order means arranging from smallest to largest, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you can say for alphabets A, B, C, D, E, F, that is from smallest to largest. So herein we have our AmitDB database. As you can see here, AmitDB, we have entered it using the use command. Here it is, AmitDB database. Inside that we have a table, employee table. So we have inserted some records in the employee table. Let us see the records first. I hope you know, to display all the records we use select star from table name, semicolon, and just select it and click on execute. So herein you can see guys, the records of the employee table are visible below in output. So we have 4 fields: ID, employee name, city, as well as employee salary. So let's say we need to order the records in ascending order on the basis of salary. So which command we will use? I told you, order by command. So let's say we need to display all the records after sorting. So herein I'll type select star from table name, that is employee. Press enter, type the command order by, and we need to arrange it in ascending order. So that's the default. So just keep as it is, and we need to arrange it according to salary. So I'll just mention salary. On typing, you can see the salary is visible here. Just select it and semicolon. So the results, all the results will be visible on the basis of salary arranged in ascending order. That is, ascending order means from smallest to largest. Select this, execute. Herein you can see the least salary is on the top, then comes the next one, and the end, the last one will be the employee with the highest salary. Okay guys, so now let's say you need to do the reverse. For that, type DESC for descending order, that is from largest to smallest. Now it will be opposite, Henry will be on the top. Just select it, execute. Now herein you can see guys, Henry is on the top and we have arranged it according to descending order, that is from largest to smallest. 9,500, then 8,000, then 7,500 in the same way. So guys, we can also order according to different columns, several columns. Why we need it? Because let's say city is repeating here. PQR city is for 2 employees and ABC city is for 2 employees. So let's say we are arranging accordingly the city according to city. So we can set multiple columns so that we are able to solve this multiple city order issue according to salary. Let's see. So herein guys, we have used city as well as the salary in order by. Let's see what will happen. Select it and execute. Now herein you can see we have ordered in ascending order because we haven't mentioned anything, so the default is ascending. So it has arranged it accordingly, city and salary. In case of repeated values, city repeated, it has arranged according to salary. So the issue is now resolved. So guys, in this video we saw how we can easily work with order by keyword to sort the records. In this video we will see how we can easily work with the SQL AND operator. The AND operator is used to filter records based on more than one condition. So for AND, you can say you can display record if all the conditions separated by the AND operator are true. That means all the conditions fulfill, all the conditions satisfy, and all of them are true. So guys, herein we have AmitDB database. Within that we created a table, employee table. The following are the columns of the employee table. Now let us see the records of the employee table first. Select star from employee from table name, semicolon, select, execute. On executing, let us see the output. Herein you can see ID, employee name, city and salary columns. So let us use the AND operator and include more than one condition separated by AND operator. So herein we will display employee records whose city is ABC and salary is 7,000. So this will allow us to fetch specific records. So we'll be including both the conditions that will display the employee name Tom. Let's see. Select star from employee. Let me write it again. Now remove the semicolon. Now I'll add the conditions using the where clause, where city I told you is ABC and we are using the AND operator, and salary is equal to specific salary 7,000. That's it. Add semicolon and let's execute and see the result. Execute. Herein you can see we are able to fetch the salary with 7,000 and city with ABC for the employee name Tom. So we could have also set the values for, let's say, I'll execute it again to display all the records. So let's say I want to display the specific employee name Will with the city ABC. So the city is ABC only, but the second condition also should satisfy. So herein, let's say I want to display 6700. So what I'll do, I'll just mention less than and everything looks fine. Select it, click on execute. Herein you can see the Will employee name is visible because the salary is less than 7,000 now. So guys, in this video we saw how we can easily execute the AND operator in SQL Server. It satisfies both the conditions separated by the AND operator. In this video we will see how we can work with the OR operator. So the OR operator is used to filter records based on more than one condition. It displays the record if any of the conditions separated by the OR operator is true. Any of the condition, not both. Both the conditions are for AND operator and only a single condition should be true for OR operator. So let us see an example. We have AmitDB database. We have entered in it. Within that, guys, we have our table, employee table, and within that we have 4 columns in the employee table. Let us see the records of the employee table. We already inserted it. So I hope you know to display the records, use select star from table name. Our table name is employee. So here it is. Select it and click on execute. So we have executed the query. Herein you can see we have employee ID, employee name, city and salary. So herein we'll be implementing the OR operator. So let's say we need to fetch all the records of the employee whose name is either Jenny or Henry, let's say. So I'll mention the command, press enter, use the where clause, emp name is equal to, I said Jenny, or emp name is equal to Henry. So both the records will get fetched because both the records are true. Even if one was true, it would have returned the records without any error. Henry, semicolon. Now I'll select it, execute. You can see records for Jenny and Henry are visible. Now guys, I'll just copy this command again and let's say I'll mention it Steve. So there is no employee with the name Steve. If you remember, I'll show the records again. Execute. You can see there is no employee with the name Steve. So still this command will execute because we are having OR operator. That means only one condition should satisfy. Execute. Herein you can see only one condition satisfied, Jenny. Second failed, but there is no error because we are using OR operator. This is the benefit of using an OR operator. So guys, in this video we saw how we can work with OR operator in SQL Server. In this video we will see how we can work with the NOT operator in SQL Server. So the NOT operator is used to display a record if the condition is not true. Mind it, not true. Okay, so let us see an example. We have AmitDB database here, as you can see here in SQL Server. Within AmitDB database, we have employee table with 4 fields, as you can see here. We already inserted records in the employee table. Let us see them. I hope you know to display the records from a table, use select star. Star is used to display all the records. From table name, our table is employee, as you can see here, employee. Now I'll select this and click on execute to display all the records. Herein you can see query executed successfully and here are all the records. So I told you employee ID, employee name, employee city and employee salary. Now guys, what we need to do, we need to implement the NOT operator. So to implement the NOT operator, let's say we want to fetch all the records of the employee wherein salary is not 8,000. So except Emma, all the records will get displayed because we are using NOT. So let's see. I'll copy this again. Select star from employee, where not salary is equal to 8,000. Now I'll select it, execute. You can see except 8,000 salary record, every record is visible. With that guys, for numeric, you can remove these single quotes. And when I'll execute again, it won't show any error. So this is the usage of NOT operator. We just removed the following record from the result, that is the employee with salary 8,000. Rest all the employee records are visible. So guys, in this video we saw how we can work with the NOT operator in SQL Server. In this video we will see how we can work with the SQL in operator. So in operator allows you to set multiple values in a where clause. So let's say you want specific values from a table. So you can use the in operator. We will see an example here. So you can consider it as a shorthand for multiple OR conditions. So let us see an example. Herein guys, we have AmitDB database. Under databases, AmitDB database. Within that we have tables. We have a single table only, employee. Let us see the records of the table using select star. Before that guys, we have entered the AmitDB database using use space database name, that is AmitDB database. Let us quickly see the records of the employee table. Select it and click on execute. Herein you can see the output. We have ID, employee name, city and salary. Now let's say you want all the records of the employees whose city is ZYW and FGH. You can easily set it using multiple conditions, that is SQL in. Let's see how. Since we want all the records, so we will use select star from employee based on a condition, right? So herein we will write the condition wherein the column name city. Now use the in SQL in, and within that add the values, multiple values. That means it was ZYW and FGH. Here it is. Only these two will get printed, Jenny and David. Semicolon and run it. Herein you can see I told you Jenny and David is visible because the city was ZYW and FGH. Let us move further and see another example. So I'll just copy it to explain it easily. Now let's say this is our table. We want to fetch the records of the employee table based on employee name. So I'll mention EMP name. Under this, now we need to mention the names. So let's say I want the record only for, let's say, Emma, Henry and Will. So I'll mention Emma, Henry and Will. That's it. Okay, I'll select it and click on execute. Now you can see only Emma, Henry and Will employee name records are visible. We can also use its opposite, that is after in we can use not in. So let's say I'll just copy this and paste. Now I'll just mention not in. What will happen? Except Emma, Henry and Will, all the records will be visible. Let us first display all the records. Here it is. Now you can see except Emma, Henry and Will, all will be visible. That means Tom, Jenny and David will be visible because we have used not in. Click on execute. You can see Tom, Jenny and David is visible. So guys, this is how you can use the in and not in operator. We have used the in operator to basically specify multiple values in a where clause. We mentioned multiple values here, you can see. So guys, thank you for watching the video. In this video, we will see how we can use the between operator. So between itself says that in a range. So you can set a range like between value 1 and value 2. These values can be numbers like 1, 2, 3, text. It can be any text, and dates. Between dates you can get records. So let us see an example quickly. So herein guys, we have databases. Under that we have our AmitDB database. Within that I am having my table, employee table. So we have entered the database using the use command. Use database name, that means use AmitDB. Now let us display the records of the employee table. I hope you know select star is used to display all the records, and from is the table name, that means employee. Click on execute. On clicking execute guys, you can see below all the records of the employee table are visible. Okay, now let's say we need to fetch the employee name records, that is the entire employee records with salary between 7,000 and 9,000. Okay, so for that let's mention the following again because we want all the records. Okay, now we will add the where clause because you want to set a condition. We will use between now, wherein salary between, I told you, let's say between 7,000 to 9,000. So between, let's say 7,000 to 9,000. It will also include both the values, that is 7,000 and 9,000, because it is inclusive. Okay, semicolon, and we will select it. After that I'll click on execute, and only those records whose salary is between 7,000 and 9,000, including both, will be visible here. You can see here is visible here. Now guys, let us also see not between. I'll just copy this, and if you want, let's say these are our records. If you want rest of the records, you can just mention not between. So I'll just show you the records again. Okay, so not between 7,000 and 9,000. That means except 7,000 to 9,000, everything will be visible. That means Jenny records as well as Henry records will be visible. With that, Will also will be visible because it's less than 7,000, because we have used not between. Select it and click on execute. Herein you can see I told you Jenny, Henry and Will be visible. If you will go for between again, then rest of the records will be visible. So I hope you know the difference between and not between is just the negation of between. not between. Now move further. Herein we can also use the text values. So we will use between. Now let's say I'll mention the text values. So these were our records. So herein let's say between David and, so let's say we are displaying between David and Jenny. So David and Jenny means alphabetically D and J. Between D and J we have E Emma, H Henry. Okay, and herein we will mention EMP name. So we need to also order it. So order by, let's say, EMP name. So we'll see what will be visible. Select it and click on execute. Herein you can see between David and Jenny. Firstly, David and Jenny will be visible because it is inclusive. I told you before. And between that alphabetically Emma and Henry is also visible. So this is how you can use text values. It's so simple. So guys, in this video you saw how we can work with between and not between operator in SQL. In this video we will learn about SQL like operator. So the like operator is used in a where clause for a specific pattern in a column. So you can see specified pattern. Let's say you have employee name Tom, Jack and Tim. So you want only the employee name records with name starting with T. So you can use like operator. In this way you can also work around 0, 1 or multiple characters or even a single character. For that guys, percentage sign is provided by SQL. This is for 0, 1 or multiple characters. In that way you can also use underscore for, let's say, one, or you can say single character. So we will see all these examples in this video. Okay, so let us see. So herein you can see guys, we have AmitDB database under databases. Within that we have employee table. So we have entered the AmitDB database using the use command, use space database name, that is AmitDB. Now let us see the records of the table so that we can operate on the like operator. Our table was employee, so using select star we can get all the records. Select and click on execute. Herein you can see we have all the records. I told you before that using like operator we can easily fetch the records using a specified pattern. So let's say herein we have employee name Tom, Emma, Jenny, David, Henry and Will, and cities with the following. So let's say we want the employee records with city starting with A only. Okay, for that guys let us write select star because we want all the records. We are using star. We won't be using semicolon again because you want to add a condition. Where city, the column name is city, write city, like the like operator, and we want starting with A, capital A, right? That is ABC cities will be visible. I'll add percentage here because we just saw the usage of percentage so that we can easily represent 0, 1 or multiple characters. Here we have mentioned a single character. It's fine. Now semicolon and we will run it. Execute. Herein you can see only the city starting with A is visible. Now guys, let us show the execute the command again, and here it is. Now let's say you want employee name that ends with I, so the following will be visible. Let's say I'll copy this again. Herein what we want guys, where city, so there was city column. Now we want EMP name column. So I'll mention EMP name, that's it. Like we want it in the end. That means we want the employee name records ending with I. That's it. So herein we will just use the percentage before and mention I. Now after executing it, only the third record will be visible. Select it and click on execute. You can see only Jenny record is visible. In this way guys, we can work with the percentage. Now let us guys display the records again. Now let's say we want the employee records with employee name that are having E in the second position. So Jenny is having E in the second position and Henry is having E in the second position. So we will use a like operator. Use select star from employee because you want to display all the records. Now the condition part, herein we will be using both the percentage as well as underscore. Where EMP name like. So within this we will add the condition. First we will add underscore because the first character is fixed, whatever it is, and the second character should always be E. So I'll mention E here. After that, there can be any number of characters. So I'll add percentage. That's it. Now both Jenny, because the second character is E, Jenny and Henry will get fetched. Selected and click on execute. Herein you can see Jenny and Henry got fetched easily. Now guys, let us see the like condition again. Let us first display the records. Okay. So herein we will fetch the employee names that does not start with E. So herein only Emma won't be visible and rest all of them will be visible. So let us see. I'll mention the condition again. EMP name, not like, use not like. E, I told E, mention percentage because there can be any number of character after that. But the first character is fixed, which we have mentioned as E. Semicolon. Now except Emma, every record will be visible. Execute. Here you can see except Emma, every record is visible. In this way, we can also work around the not like operator. Okay, guys. So we have worked around the percentage as well as underscore. You can work around more examples on your own. So guys, in this video, we saw how we can work with the like and not like operator in SQL. In this video, we will see how we can work with the max function in SQL to return the largest value of the selected column. So let's say you have a table, employee table, and you want to get the maximum salary from all the employees, then you can use the max function. In this way, you can get the highest score from a number of players in a team, let's say a cricket team. So let's see an example. Herein, we have AmitDB database. You can see here our database. Under database is AmitDB. Under that, we have employee table. So we have entered the AmitDB database using use AmitDB, use space database name. Now, what we want, guys, we want to display all the records of the employee table. For that, type the command select star from table name, that is select star from employee. Selected, execute. Now herein you can see all the records of the employee table. We have ID, employee name, city and salary. If you want to fetch the maximum salary, you need to use the max function. So let us see how. Type select max. Within that, mention the column for which you want the maximum output. Herein we want maximum salary, so I'll write salary. After that, press enter and write the name of the table, that is from table name, that is from employee. Semicolon. And let us now select this and click on execute. Herein you can see the maximum salary 9,500. Now guys, you can see there is no column name, so we need to fix this. Use an alias for this, that is as. So herein write, let's say result. You can write anything. We are just giving the name to the column, output result. Selected and click on execute. So herein you can see we got the maximum salary. Since you can see it is 9,500 and our employee table is having the maximum salary of 9,500. So this is how we got the maximum salary. So guys, in this video we saw how we can get the maximum value using the max function in SQL. In this video we will see how we can easily work with the min function in SQL. So if you want to return the smallest value of a selected column, you can use the min function. So let's say you want to return the minimum salary, then you can use the min function. And you want to fetch the employee name specifically with the minimum salary, you can use the SQL min function. So let's see an example. Herein we have a database AmitDB. Here it is under databases AmitDB. Under that we have employee table, you can see. So let us fetch the records of the employee table first using select star from employee. Here it is. Selected and execute. Herein you can see the records. We have ID, employee name, city and salary in our employee table. So what I want to fetch, I want to fetch the records of an employee with the minimum salary. So it will return the following: Jenny with 5,000 salary. So let's see. Use the min function. I'll write select min, under brackets mention the column name wherein we want to fetch the minimum. So I'll mention salary. That's it. Now mention the table name employee, and that's it. Let us select and click on execute. So herein you can see it has returned the minimum salary 5,000, but there is no column name. If you want to add a column name, you can write an alias as, let's say, result, and select it again, execute. Herein you can see it had displayed the column name as a result because we mentioned alias. So guys, in this video we saw how we can return the minimum, that is the smallest value of the selected column. Herein we selected salary. In this video we will see how we can work with the sum function to return the total sum of a numeric column. So let's say you have an employee table and in that you have employee salary as a column. So you want to calculate the total salaries given, you can use the sum function. So let's see. So guys, herein we have a database, AmitDB database, and within that we have employee table. So herein we have entered the AmitDB database. Let us see all the records of the employee table using select star from table name, that is select star from employee. Semicolon, select it and click on execute. Here is the result, guys. So you can see we have a salary column. Let us find the sum of these salaries. It's very easy. Use the select again, select sum and mention the column name within it, that is salary, because you want to get the sum of salaries. From table name, table is employee. That's it. Select it and click on execute. Herein you can see the sum of all the salaries are visible here. Now let us view the records again. Now let's say you want the sum of salaries only for salaries above 7,000. For that, guys, what you need to do, so above 7,000, let's say it's greater than equal to, so it will be Tom, that means 7,000 plus 8,000 plus 7,500 plus 9,500. Okay, so herein I'll add a condition using wherein salary is greater than equal to 7,000. That's it. Semicolon, select it and click on execute. Now you can see for all those four salaries above 7,000, that is greater than equal to 7,000 is 32,000. So guys, in this way you can easily find the sum of any numeric column, values of any numeric column. In this video we will see how we can use the AVG function, that is average function, in SQL to get the average value of a numerical column. So let's say we have products table, in that we have price and we want the average price, we can use the AVG function. So herein we will see another example in which we have our employee table. Let's say right now we have AmitDB database and in that we have a table, employee table, and at first we will display all the records of the employee table. Before that we enter the AmitDB database, here it is. Now I'll display all the records of the employee table using select star from table name, that is employee. Select it and click on execute. You can see 6 records. Okay, so let's say we want the average salary, which is very easy to find using the AVG function. Let us find, select AVG, mention the column name. In our case, the column name is salary because we want average salary. From table name, that means employee. Select it and click on execute to get the average salary. So the average salary is 7283. In this way, guys, you can get the average value of a numerical column. In this case, it is salary. Okay, guys. So guys, herein we can also add a clause where let's say salary is greater than 6,000. Now semicolon. When I'll select, click on execute, it will only consider the records, the employee salary above 6,000 and will find the average. That's it. So guys, in this video we saw how we can find the average of a numerical column. We found the average of salaries. In this video we will see how we can return the count of rows that matches the specified criterion. That means let's say you have an employee table and you want to get the number of employees who are having salary above 5,000, let's say. So you can easily do it using count function. So let's see how. Herein, let's say first we have AmitDB database, inside we have employee table. Herein under tables, employee table. So let us fetch the records of the employee table using select star from table name, that is select star from employee. Select it and click on execute. Herein below you can see the output. We have 6 row records and we have 4 columns: ID, employee name, city and employee salary. let us find the number of employees first. You select the method name count. Under that, in this you need to enter the column. So this is the syntax. Here you need to add the column. It's written count function requires one argument. So I have mentioned employee name from table name. I'll select it and click on execute. Herein you can see there were 6 employees. Let's modify this, and herein I'll remove the semicolon, and herein I'll set a condition wherein salary is greater than, let's say, 7,000. So it will count the employees whose salary is greater than 7,000 and will display the number. Selected and click on execute. Herein you can see 3. Verified using select star from employee again. Selected and click on execute. So you can see above 7,000 there were 3 employees, that is Emma, David and Henry. So 3 got displayed when we executed this command. Click on execute, you can see 3. So guys, let's say you want to display only the number of records without mentioning any column. For that, right select count. Under column name, mention star. That's it. From employee, semicolon, and that's it. Click on execute and it will display 6 because we were having 6 employees, 6 records. So herein you can see we were having 6 records and the same is visible because we entered count bracket star. You can recheck again, execute, and you can see we were having 6 employee records. So guys, in this video we saw how we can work with the count function to count the number of records.
In this video we will see how we can work with not null constraint in SQL. So SQL constraints are basically used to specify rules for the table data. We are considering here the not null constraint. The not null constraint enforces the column to never accept null values. That is why it is not null. It will never accept null values. If you will add null values after setting it as not null constraint, it will show an error. But always remember, a column can always hold null values, but if you will set the column as not null, adding a null value will show an error. Okay. So let us see an example. Here we have AmitDB database, you can see. Let us go inside the AmitDB database and use it. So I'll create a new table now so that I can easily explain you guys how to work with not null constraint, how we can set it. Okay, so let us create a table now. Let us create a new table. Create table using create table command. Table name, our table name is employee. Within that we will now add the field names with its data type and constants. Let's say our first field is ID, that is employee ID. I'll set it as int and I'll set it as not null. So ID is unique for every employee and it is a field which is a must, that is an employees always have ID or SSN, comma. Let's say the next one we will add is EMP name, that is employee name. I'll set it as varchar and I'll set it as not null again. Next is our city. I'll set it as varchar again. Okay. And the last one I'll set it as salary, which is int. Salary is in int, right? 5,000, 50,000, 1 lakh. We have added the not null constraint. That means this won't accept any null values. Let me execute it. It is successful. Okay guys, here it is. Now let us insert some values. So for inserting we use insert into. So let's say we inserted the following: insert into employee, that is a table name, and the values for all the 4 fields. Here it is. Okay, for ID we have added 1, 2 here, Tom, Emma, and all these. So when I'll execute this, let me execute this before. So when I'll execute this, herein you can see we have inserted it. Okay, so again I'll just show all the records. Select star from employee, execute. So we have 2 records now. Okay, remember that our ID and employee name is not null, so we can't leave that record. Okay, so guys, in this video we saw what is a not null constraint in SQL. In this video we will see what is a unique constraint in SQL and how we can work with it. So the unique constraint basically ensures that all the values in a specific column is different. For an example, let's say the roll number of a student or the unique number appointed to an employee, that means an SSN number which is unique for every employee. You can have more than one unique constraints for a table, but a primary key constraint will be only a single per table. That's the difference between primary key and unique key. That is primary key and unique constraint. So let us now create a table and add the unique constraint in it. Okay, so let's begin. Herein you can see an example. We have a database AmitDB, but within that we don't have any table. So we will create a table and show an example for unique constraint. Let us first enter the database, use AmitDB using the use command. We have entered here. Now let us create a table. So herein guys, we have created employee table. We have employee ID, employee name, employee city and employee salary fields, columns. ID is unique. Every employee will have a unique ID obviously. So let's say there are two employees, Tom and Jack. They won't be having a similar IDs, right? They'll be having different IDs. So we need to set this as unique, obviously, for obvious reasons. Now, after setting it unique, that means all the values in the columns are different. In the ID column is different. Okay. Now let us insert some records. So let's say we added records for a single record for all the four columns. That is the following. At first, let me create the table. Click on execute. We created it successfully. You can see below. Here it is. Command completed successfully. Command completed successfully. Now let us add the record here. Execute. Okay. So now I'll just use select star from employee to display all the records from the employee table. We have a single record only, single row. So here it is, a single row. Now guys, what we can do, we can add another record. Let's say I'll add the second record. In the same way, I'll add the third record and fourth record. Here it is guys, we have added more records. I'll select all and click on execute. Okay, one row affected. Now execute this again. And here it is, we have four records. Remember, IDs are unique, as I have told you before. It is unique, so it will be different for every row. Now let us try to add a similar ID. What will happen? It will show an error. So we have 4 here. Let's say I'll add 3 again. I'll change everything else. Let's say Gary. We can add anything here. And let's say here it is. So 3 and 3 is repeating. That means ID is unique, but it is repeating, which is false. That won't happen. Two employees can never have a single ID. Can never have a similar ID. So when I'll run it, it will show an error. Execute. And here is the error I told you before. Okay, unique constraint cannot insert duplicate key in object. The duplicate key value is 3. Here it is. I told you. So this is the purpose of unique constraint. Now when I'll set it 5 and I run it again, it will show no error. You can see. Now let's say I'll just execute this here, or here I should say. Now we have 5 records with no error because we fixed the error. So guys, in this video we saw what is a unique constraint in SQL, how we can work with it. In this video we will learn what is a primary key constraint in SQL. We will also see a live example. So a primary key uniquely identifies each record in a table, and the primary key must have unique values and it can never contain null values. Always remember that a table can have only a single primary key. Example of a primary key can be employee ID in an employee table. It can be student ID or student roll number in a student table. So let us see an example here. We have a database here in our SQL server, which is AmitDB. Let us first use it. Use space AmitDB using the use command. Execute. Now we are inside the AmitDB database. Now we will create a table and set one of the column as primary key. So let's begin. So here it is guys, we have our employee table. We have 4 columns: employee ID, employee name, employee city and employee salary. ID and employee name are set as not null constraint because it can never have null values. We need to set the primary key to ID as I told you before. How we can set it in SQL Server? After not null, just write primary key. This will set primary key constraint on ID column. That's it. So guys, in this way you can easily create a primary key. You can easily set a primary key constraint. Now let us insert some records. So herein guys, we have inserted 2 records using insert into command. Okay, insert into table name, then the fields, that is the column names, and then the values for each column value. I'll just execute this. Okay, I just forgot to create a table. Execute this. Okay, query executed successfully. Now I'll just insert, execute, and execute it successfully. You can see. Now let us display all the records using the select star from table name employee. Okay, select it and execute, and herein you can see we have inserted 2 records, and herein ID is a primary key. So guys, in this video we saw how we can work with primary key constraint, what is its usage. In this video we will learn what is a foreign key constraint and how we can create it in SQL. So we saw primary key constraint in the previous video. We created a primary key in a table. So it is related to foreign key. A foreign key is basically a column in one table which is referring to the primary key in another table. So you can say the table with a foreign key is called child table, and the parent table is which is having a primary key. Just like the previous video, we have an employee table. Okay, this is our parent table. This employee table is having EMP ID as primary key. Okay, so this is the complete table is our parent table, okay, which is having a primary key. So primary key basically uniquely identifies record in a table. So herein, in our case, it's employee ID. Every employee will have a unique employee ID. No two employees can have a similar ID. So this employee table is our parent table with a primary key. Herein we created the table using the following syntax. So herein you can see, as I told you before, EMP ID is our primary key. Okay, so this is our parent table. Now let us go to below, which is having a department table. So department table, as I told you before, is having foreign key. That means it is a child table. So in department, you can see the primary key is department ID for the department table. Okay, and herein it is also having employee ID from the primary key table. So this is what we call a reference. Here you can say it's called a reference. Okay, so this EMP ID is a foreign key. Therefore, we said a foreign key is a field in one table referring to the primary key in another table. That means a foreign key is a key in one table referring to a primary key in another table. So in this case, we are having EMP ID. And we created the department table using the following. As I told you before, DPT ID, department ID is a primary key, and employee ID is a foreign key because we took it from the employee table, which we have shown here using the syntax the following. EMP ID, the data type, foreign key reference, foreign key, I told you this is a foreign key here, references to employee ID in the employee table, that is references to this employee table EMP ID. Okay, so this is what is visible here. You can see the employee ID, the EMP ID column in the employee table is the primary key in the employee table, as I told you before, and the EMP ID column in the department table is a foreign key in the department table. This is what we can say it's called foreign key. So a table with foreign key is called child table. So our department table is child table, and this is the child table, and our employee table above is parent table. Okay, so why foreign key is used? It is basically used to prevent invalid data from being inserted into the foreign key columns. So invalid data won't be able to come in the foreign key column because it is related to the parent table. It should be one of the values contained in the parent table, that is contained in the employee table, which is the parent table. So these two are related. That's why it will prevent invalid data from being inserted. Okay, so this is how you can work with primary key and foreign key in SQL. So guys, in this video we saw what is a foreign key, what is a primary key, what is a foreign key constraint, how we can set a foreign key constraint easily, we can reference tables. So we also saw what is a parent table and a child table in context of foreign key. In this video we will learn about the check constraint in SQL. As the name suggests, the check constraint is basically used to allow only a certain values for a column. Let's say you need to limit the value range which you place in a column. Let's say the value in case of age records, you want to insert the record of students with age less than 20 only. So you will use the check constraint while creating the table. With that, let's say another example, you want to insert records of employees with salaries less than 10,000 only in a table. So you can set the check constraint while creating the table and while defining the column salary. Let's see a live example. Herein you can see we have our SQL server, the databases are visible. We have AmitDB database. Okay, so let us enter AmitDB database. Click on execute. Query executed successfully. We are inside the AmitDB database. Now let us create a table and set a check constraint for it. I told you, let's say I'll go for create table employee, that is an employee table. So herein you can see we have employee ID, employee name, city and salary. Employee ID we have set not null and primary key. So here is the salary. We want to set a check constraint so that only the records with salary less than 10,000 gets inserted. So for that, let us set the check. This will depict the check constraint, and herein salary less than 10,000. Okay, that's it. So we have set the check constraint. Now what I'll do, I'll just create the table, click on execute, and table created successfully. Now what I'll do, I'll just insert the records. Okay, and we'll show you a live example again. So herein I have inserted two records. So these are two rows with ID, employee name, city and salary. Salary is less than 10,000, so there won't be any error when I'll insert it. Let's say I inserted it, I will execute. After selecting, you can see queries executed successfully. You can see here rows affected. Now let us print the records. I hope you know to display all the records from a table. We use select star from employee, that is select star from table name. Click on execute. You can see we have inserted two records. Salary is less than 10,000, so there is no error. Now let's say I'll insert a record with salary greater than 10,000. Then it will show an error. Okay, so let us add it. Herein I'll add 3. Name, let us add Will. Location, we can add any random location. Now that's it. 8,000. So I'll set 11,000 here, but the check constraint depicts that the salary should be less than 10,000. So there will be an error definitely. Let's add. Execute. You can see query completed with errors, and the error will depict the check constraint. You can see the insert statement conflicted with the check constraint. Definitely yes. The conflict occurred in database AmitDB and column salary, as I told you before. Okay, it's all about salary because we inserted a salary which is over the check constraint mark. Okay, so what I can do, I can just change it to 1,000 or let's say 5,500 instead. Now when I'll run it, there won't be any error. Execute. You can see one row affected. Okay, now I can straight away, it's good, yeah, I can straight away run it now, and let's see the third value will get inserted easily with salary 5,500. So all these salaries are less than or check constraint, that is less than 10,000. In this way you can use the check constraint in SQL. So guys, in this video we saw what is the usage of check constraint in SQL and how you can use it in your table. In this video we will see how we can work with ascending keyword. So the ASC command is used to sort the records, and that too in ascending order. So let's see an example. So herein you can see we have a database AmitDB. Here it is. Within that we have employee table. So let us enter the AmitDB database using the use command. Select it, execute. Okay, so now let us see the records of the employee table. That is the following. Here it is, guys. Select and execute. Here are all our records: employee table, ID, employee name, city and salary. So now let's say we need to sort the salaries in ascending order. So it's very easy using the ASC command. How? Let's see. I'll write select star from employee again, then write order by keyword. So I hope you know order by is used to sort the records. That's why we used it. But to sort a specific column records in ascending order, we'll be using the ASC command. So write just order by salary because you want to order salary column, order by salary, ASC, that's it, semicolon. Selected and execute. Herein you can see it is unsorted right now, salary, and after clicking execute it will be sorted in ascending order. Here it is, we have sorted it in ascending order. Okay guys, now let us see another example. I'll just copy this again. Now I'll just sort the employee name, that is a string. It is unsorted right now, so let's say EMP name. Okay, in ascending order I'll select this. It is unsorted right now, you can see. So Brad should be on the top and Will should be in the bottom. Execute. Now you can see we have sorted employee name column. Brad is on the top and Will is in the bottom, as I told you before. Rest all in dictionary format. So guys, in this video we saw how we can easily work with the ASC command, ASC keyword in SQL. In this video we will see how we can work with SQL DESC command to basically sort the records in descending order. So DESC stands for descending order. So it's very easy. We will also see an example. Herein you can see our SQL server. We have a database AmitDB and a table employee. Let us enter the AmitDB database using use command. Use space database name. Selected and click on execute. So you can see command successful. Now let us see the records of our employee table. Select star from employee, select it and click on execute. So here are our records. Now let us sort the salary in descending order using the DESC keyword, DESC command. How? Let's say, so write select star from employee, order by. So we want salary, we want to update salary records in descending order. So order by salary, just write DESC and semicolon. That's it. This will sort the records in the salary in descending order. Select, execute. Now you can see guys, we have sorted our employee salary in descending order. Okay, let's see another example. Now let's say the following are our records again, the initial records. Now let's say we need to sort the employee name in descending order, alphabetically in descending order. It is right now unsorted, so we will just sort it in descending order. How? By using the same employee. So in this case we need to order by employee name, right? Because we need to sort employee name. So I'll write order by EMP name, DESC, that's it, semicolon. Select it and click on execute. Now herein you can see we have sorted employee name in descending order. So Will at the top and the initial Brad in the bottom. So guys, in this video we saw how we can work with the DESC command in SQL. In this video we will see how we can easily work with SQL alter table statement. So alter table is used to add or delete columns in an existing table. So let us see an example. Herein you can see we have a database AmitDB and employee table in it. So let us enter. So we have entered the AmitDB database using use command. Click on execute. Now we have entered. Let us show the records of our employee table. Here it is guys, select star from employee, select and click on execute. Now we have the following records in a table. Now let's say we need to add a new column. That means we are altering the table. So the name alter table. So to add a new column, we will use the alter table statement, which is very easy. So herein, let's say we are adding age column. For that, let's use the command alter table. Table name is employee. Press enter, write add because we are adding a column. Age and int. Okay, semicolon. Let us select and execute. Commands completed successfully. When I'll select this and execute to show all the records, you can see we have a age column, but it's null because we haven't added any records in age column. Okay, but we added a new column. Now let's say we need to remove the age column now. Use the same command alter, but what you need to use? So to drop it, just write drop column and remove the data type, obviously because you want to just remove it. Select it and click on execute. Okay, now command successful. Now use this again to show all the records. Select star from employee. Herein you can see the age column vanished. So we altered a table successfully. So guys, in this video we saw how we can easily alter our table. We altered a column, we added a new column, then we deleted it using alter table command. In this video we will see how we can work with the SQL update statement. So the update statement is used to modify the existing records in a table. We will see an example. Herein you can see we have databases. Under databases we have Amit DB database, and within that we have employee table. So let us first enter the Amit DB database so that we can use it. Here is the command. Select and execute. So we have entered. Now let us display the data of our employee table. Here it is. So I hope you know to display all the records of a table, we use select star from, select and execute. So now this is our table. Okay guys, so now what we want, we need to update the table. So let's say we need to update the salary of employee David. Okay, so we'll update it now. Write update statement, update space table name, which was our employee. Press enter. Now use the set command. So whatever new record you need to set, you need to mention here. So we need to set the salary. So write the column name salary. Set salary is equal to, it's 7,500. Let's say I'll set it to 9,500. Salary is equal to 9,500 for, that means where command, where employee name is equal to David, or we can mention the ID as 4 because it's for David. So let me mention it. ID is equal to 4 semicolon. Okay guys, now we will select it. The salary of David is 7,500 for ID 4. It will update to 9,500. Okay, selected and execute. One row affected. Now guys, we can select this and execute, or we can mention it again so that it's a step since we updated, executed. Herein you can see the salary of David updated from 7,500 to 9,500. So this is how you can update, you can use update. Okay, so you can also update multiple records by changing 2 of the values. How? So let's say I'll just copy this again. Okay, so now I have updated the salary to 9,500. Now let's say I want to update, let's say I want to change the records for ID 1. That means I want to change the name as well as city. So how will I do it? Set salary, since we want to change employee name and city, so I'll mention set emp name, it's Tom, let's say I'll set it to Brad. Okay, comma, since I am updating multiple values, I'll set comma. I also wanted to change the city, so I'll set city, let's say I'll set it to JKL for a demo. Okay, for ID here should be 1. So for ID 1, that is this, we will change the employee name from Tom to Brad and from city ABC to JKL. Okay, now I'll select it and execute. One row affected. Now let us execute this again. Now herein you can see for ID 1 we have changed from Tom to Brad and from ABC to JKL. So this is how you can work with the update statement to update records. So guys, in this video we saw how we can easily work with the SQL update statement to modify the existing records in a table. In this video we will see what are SQL aliases. These are basically used to give a temporary name to a table or a column in a table. It makes the column names more readable, as well as it only exists for the duration of that particular query. The as keyword is used to create an alias. So let's see how. So herein you can see we have a database AmitDB. Within that we have employee table. So let us first enter the AmitDB database using the use command. Select and execute. So now we have reached here. So now we have a table. As I told you before, employee table. Let us see the records of that table. Semicolon. Select, execute. So now you can see these are our records. So let's say I need to display a specific column from the table. For that, I'll write select. The column name I want is, let's say, employee name. Select EMP name from employee table, right? So I'll just execute this. Here it is. The column name is EMP name. Now let's say I'll mention an alias for the column name for the result. So I'll use the as keyword. As, let's say I'll mention my result, and rest of the command is same. So here instead of EMP name, my result text will be visible because it's an alias. Click on execute. Here you can see my result. But remember, as I told you before, this temporary name remains for the duration of that query only. That means if now I'll execute the following command, that my result will vanish and only the exact EMP name column is visible. So this way you can add an alias. So if you are having a number of rows, if you are having a lot of column and rows in your table, and if you want to display the result, you can always use the alias, and it makes the columns more readable, the result more readable. Okay guys, in this video we saw what is an alias in SQL. In this video we will see how we can work with stored procedure in SQL Server. And what are these? So a stored procedure in SQL is a prepared SQL code that you can easily create and save so that you can reuse your code again and again. That means it's like a function. Okay, let's say you have a query which you need to write again and again. What you will do, you won't write it again and again. You will basically create a procedure so that you can just call it and execute it whenever you need it. So this is what we call a stored procedure. Okay, for stored procedure we use the create procedure command. Okay, so let us see an example. Herein we have our AmitDB database. You can see AmitDB. Within that we have our employee table. Let us see the records. Enter the table using use AmitDB use command, space database name, that is AmitDB is a database name. Execute successfully. Now let us show the records of the employee table. Select star from employee, semicolon, and just show it. Execute. Okay guys, now at first we will create a procedure for this command only because we need to use again and again. So we will create a procedure. Use the command create procedure. Let us give it a name, all records. Use the alias and type the same command select star from employee. That's it. Press enter, write go, semicolon. So now just select it and click on execute. You can see query executed successfully. To actually execute it and show the records, use the command exec, that is execute, and then the name of the procedure, all records, semicolon, and just execute this. Herein you can see all the records are visible by just only typing exec keyword and the name of the procedure or the name of the function. That's it. Okay, now let's say we will create a stored procedure with a single parameter. For that, let us first display all the records. Here it is, similar. Now what we will do, we will create a stored procedure again. Similar way, I'll just copy it with a parameter. So right now we have no parameters here. You can see we have no parameters here. We will select records on the basis of a city name. So for that, use @city. Okay. So we want it for a specific city. So I'll mention the condition where city is equal to @city. Okay, that is the following. Here and you can see it is showing an error. I need to add the data type also. Let's say it's var 20. It's fine now. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll just use the execute command similar way, all records, but it is having a parameter now. So the parameter is @city is equal to, let's say we want for city name ABC. Now let us change it to all records too, so that we have a new stored procedure. So here you can see guys, we created all records to procedure and we added the type also to remove the error for the city. And herein we will now execute it. Execute it successfully. Let us see now. Now all the records for city ABC will be visible under our stored procedure with a single parameter. Okay guys. Now we can also add multiple parameters. Let's say I'll create this again. Okay. This is our third one. At first I'll just display the records. Here it is. Okay. So now I'll add multiple parameters to our stored procedure and let us name it to 3 for our example. Okay. So now we are fetching records that will select employees from a specific city. Okay. Specific city with a specific name. Okay. So this is our third one. City we already added. So we will add multiple herein. Let's say EMP name is what we are adding. Okay, varchar 255. So we added 2 parameters herein, city and we are using the AND. EMP name is equal to @EMP name. So this is what we added. Okay, herein what I'll do, I'll add in a similar way EMP name. Okay, is equal to, I told you, for a specific EMP name. So city ABC is having 2 employees, Will and, you can see Will and Tom, both are having city ABC. So let's say I'll fetch the Tom one is Tom. Now we have a specific stored procedure for it with 2 parameters. Okay, so now I'll just select it, execute, command completed. Now I'll just execute this. Let me add a semicolon here both. Select it, execute. You can see we selected that specific records. So we have created 3 stored procedure, for example. Here it is for select star from employee, herein for single parameter, and the third one for multiple parameters. So guys, in this video we saw what is a stored procedure, how we can create it. We also saw how we can create a simple stored procedure with a single parameter and with multiple parameters also. In this video we will see how we can easily work with the create index statement to create indexes in SQL. So basically indexes are used to retrieve data from a database faster than any other way. Let's see how we can create an index quickly. We will see a live example. Herein we have a database AmitDB. Within that we have a table employee. So let's see. Let's enter the database AmitDB using the use command. Here it is. Now let us see the records of the employee table using select star from employee. Select and execute. So herein you can see the following are records. Okay, so we will create an index using it. How? Using the create index statement. Let us use the command create index. Add the name of the index. Let's say I'll add my index, the name. on command. On, now mention the table name, that is our table name is employee, and brackets, under brackets you will be adding the column name, that is this statement will create an index named myIndex on the column which we will add here. Let's say I'll add emp name, okay, semicolon, and let's run it. So I ran it and command completed successfully. You need to remember that the users can never see the indexes, but they are only used to speed up the searches, that is speed up the queries. Now we can also create indexes with a list of column names, that is using combination of columns. How? Let me use this, the name, our second index, myIndex2, and I'll add multiple columns in it. Let's say salary. Okay, now I'll execute it. The second index completed successfully, command completed successfully. Okay guys, so we created two indexes. So guys, now let us delete an index using the drop index statement. Just write drop index, then the table name, that is employee, dot the index name. So we are deleting myIndex2, let's say, semicolon. I'll just select it and I'll click on execute. After clicking execute, you can see query executed successfully. That means we have successfully deleted the index. So remember guys, you can create indexes when a column contains a wide range of values. So guys, in this video we saw what are indexes in SQL, how we can create indexes and how we can delete indexes. In this video we will see how we can easily work with select into statement to copy data from one table into a new table. So this will indirectly create a backup copy of any of a table. So let's see how. Here we have our database. So we have AmitDB database. Within that we have our employee table. So let us go inside the AmitDB database. Using the use command, select execute. So we have reached the AmitDB database. You can see command successful. Now let us print the records of our employee table. I have selected it, click on execute. Herein you can see the records are visible with ID, employee name, employee city and employee salary. So guys, what I told you, we will copy it into a new table. We will copy the columns into a new table. So let's say I want to copy all the columns. For that I'll use select star, because obviously star is used when we want all the records, all the columns. So but herein I'll use into, select into, select star into, and the new table name. So let's say it would be emp backup 2022. Okay, so mention the from employee, that means from the table name, from employee, and that's it. Now I'll just copy it. Now I'll just select and execute. Herein you can see 6 rows affected. Now let's say I'll select this and execute, and you can see our new table, our backup table, is having all the records of the employee table. I'll select it and show you again. Herein you can see similar records. Okay, in the same way, let's say you want only specific columns. So here is our employee table. Okay, so now let's say I'll just mention it again, our employee table, so that it's easier for everyone to understand. Now I'll just mention, okay, so star we used, why? Because we wanted all the columns. Now let's say I want specific column. For that I'll just remove the star. Let's say we want only emp name and the salary. So emp name comma salary into the same table, into, let's say we are creating a new table. Now my backup, that's it. Okay, so now I'll select it and click on execute. Herein you can see 6 rows affected. If I'll type select, now if I'll type select star from my backup, now let's say what will be visible. Add a semicolon. Herein you can see only the employee name column and salary column is visible under my backup table. So through this way you can easily create a backup copy, or you can copy the data, the records, the specific columns or all the columns into a new table. So guys, in this video we saw how we can work with the SQL select into statement.
In this video, we will see how we can use a select top clause in SQL to specify the count of records to return. That means, let's say we have a table and we want to only fetch the top 2 rows records, then we can easily do it using the select top clause. So let's see. So you can see a database is there. Under databases, this database is having a table, employee table. Let us fetch the records of the table using select star from table name, select star from table name employee semicolon, and I'll select it and click on execute. Herein you can see a table is visible. So let's say I want to fetch the first 2 records only. So guys, what I'll do, I'll use the select top clause. Let us fetch, use select top. We want 2 records, so I'll write 2 star because I want all the records from employee. So this will fetch the top 2 records, all the 2 rows, the top 2 rows only. Select it, click on execute. Now you can see only the top 2 records are visible from the employee table. Now we will look at select top percent clause. So in that you can fetch the record on the basis of percentage. For example, so here is our employee table. It is having 6 rows. So if you want to fetch 3 rows only, you can straight away write 50% there. That's it. So let us see, select top. Since we want 50% records, I'll write 50% manually star from employee. That's it. It will fetch 50% records. That means the first 3 records completely from the employee table. I'll select it and click on execute. Herein you can see it has fetched 3 records. In the same way, let us write this statement again. I'll just copy it. Let's say 75. Select it, execute. Now out of 6 records, it has shown us 5 records. Okay, so now let us see, we can also add a where clause in it. So I'll again use this. For where clause, just write where. Let's say I want top 50% records, or let's say top 25% records wherein salary is greater than 7,000. Let's see what will happen. So there is an error. Why? Because we added a semicolon here. It's fine now. Let us select this and click on execute. Herein you can see it has shown us 25% record. That means a single record. Or I'll modify this statement again to make it simpler for you. Let's say I'll just write select top 2 from employee, salary greater than 7,000. I'll select it and click on execute. You can see 2 records are now visible. The top 2 records which are having salary greater than 7,000. So it is 7,500 and 8,000 because these are above 7,000 and these are the first 2. I hope you understood. So guys, in this video we saw how we can work with the select top clause to return a specific number of records. In this video we will see how we can back up our database on SQL Server. So at first we created a database AmitDB, then we created an employee table in it using the following command. After that we added records in the table. So herein you can see our AmitDB database with employee table is having the following records. So we need to back up the entire database. So it's very easy. You need to execute a command that is backup database, the name of the database AmitDB, then mention to disk is equal to, in this you need to add the path wherein your database will get backed up. Always remember, add in a different directory always, because in case if your directory which is having MS SQL crash, then at least you have the backup of your database. So let us see the path. So herein, let's say we created a Studiopedia backup folder. You can create any folder. I'll just copy this. After that, I'll mention the path here. Paste. Now I'll mention the name of the file. My backup.bak is the extension. Now everything looks fine. Now let us execute and see what will happen. Select and click on execute. Herein you can see processed, backup database successfully processed. So it is also showing the time and the completion time. Now let us see. Herein you can see it automatically created a backup file. So in this way guys, you can easily create a backup of your database. So the BAK extension is here because it will allow you to easily restore your backed up database. So guys, in this video we saw how we can easily back up our database on MS SQL Server.
In this video, we will see how we can work with SQL create view statement to create a view. So what is a view? A view in SQL is basically a virtual table which is based on the result set of an SQL statement. So if you want to show or present a specific data from your database or table, you can use a view. A view basically contains rows and columns that is part of your records. Okay, the fields in a view are basically fields from one of your tables only, as I told you before. So you can present a data in a more readable form using view. So to create a view, we use the create view statement in SQL. So let us see an example. Herein we have Amit DB database, you can see, and our employee table. Let us enter the database using the use command, use space database name. That is Amit DB is our database here. Execute and you can see successful. Now let us enter our table. Now let us see the records of our table. Select star from employee. Select it and click on execute. Now herein you can see our record is having ID, employee name, employee city and employee salary. Now let's say we need to create a view for employees with city ABC. That is the employees living in city ABC. So that would be the first one and the last one. How we can fetch a view for it? Let us create a view. Create view is the command. Let us add the name of our view. Let's say employees ABC we can write. Use the alias as. Now use the select command. So we wanted employee name and city. So EMP name and city. From mention the table name. That is our employee. Okay, where city is ABC. Okay, now we have created a view. Okay, semicolon. Select it and click on execute. Commands completed. Now to display, use the same select star. Okay, in this case we will be using select star from our view name because we want to get the view. I'll just copy this to ease. Okay, so I'll just select semicolon. I'll just select and click on execute. Herein you can see both the records are visible. This is what we wanted for city ABC. Okay, now let's say I'll just copy this again. Let's say we want to create another view with salary. Let's view the records again. Select star from employee. Let's say we are viewing records with salary greater than 7,000. Okay. So what we will do? Let's write salary above 7,000. Okay. What we want to display? We want to display, let's say, the employee name and city. Let's say it's fine. We can also display salary also that are above 7,000 from employee table, wherein, so what condition we need to mention? We need to mention under view wherein salary is greater than 7,000. Okay, this looks fine. I'll select it. We have a new view now. Execute. Command completed. Now to display it, I hope you remember, it's select star from your view name, that is the following. It will come on its own. You can see salary above 7,000. That's it. Semicolon. Select and that's it. So we have all the records of employee with salary greater than 7,000. Okay guys, this is what we displayed using a view. So we created a view now. Now we will see how we can remove. So now we have two views herein, first, second, both. Okay. Now let's say we need to remove the employees ABC view. How we can remove it? For that, guys, use the drop view command. Write drop view and the view name. That's it. So our view name was, here it is, employee ABC. Select and execute. So you can see commands completed successfully. Now if you'll try to display it, nothing will be visible. Okay, you can see invalid object name. Okay, so this is what I told you, we have dropped this view. So guys, in this video we saw what are views in SQL. We also saw how we can create a view as well as how we can drop a view.
In this video we will see how we can easily drop a table in SQL Server. So right now we have a database, AmitDB. Let's open it. Commands completed successfully. Here's our database. So guys, in that AmitDB database we have a table. Let's see which one. Employee table. Let's see the records of the table using the select star from employee command. Select it, execute. Here you can see the records of the table employee. So herein we have ID, employee name, employee city and employee salary. Now guys, let us drop the table. So to drop the table means to delete all the records from the table as well as to remove the existence of the table. So let us use the command drop table, paste table name, that is employee, semicolon. Now this will delete the entire table. We will check. Select, execute. Now you can see command completed successfully. Now let us refresh this. Now herein you can see the table is not visible because we deleted it. We dropped means we deleted it. Now I'll try to get the records from the table, but the table doesn't exist now. So when I'll select this and click on execute, this will show an error because you can see invalid object name employee because we already deleted the table. So there are no tables in our AmitDB database because we dropped it. So guys, in this video we saw how we can easily drop a table and remove the entire table with a record in SQL Server.
Let's see the top 25 SQL interview questions and answers. Beginning with question 1, what is SQL? SQL is the industry standard language for interacting with relational database management systems, that is RDBMS. At its core, SQL organizes data into structured table-like formats, making it easy to store, query and manipulate information. Popular SQL-based databases include MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle and others. Its structure includes data stored in the form of tables similar to spreadsheets where rows represents records and columns represents attributes or fields. SQL databases rely on a fixed predefined schema. Tables are interconnected through relationships. Primary keys uniquely identify records, whereas foreign keys link related data across tables. Question 2. Difference between delete and truncate. Delete is a DML command that removes rows one by one based on an optional where clause. It logs each deletion, allowing transactions to be rolled back. However, it can be slow for large datasets due to extensive logging. Example, deleting a record from the employees table where the salary is less than 50k. Truncate is a DDL command that removes all rows by deallocating data pages. It is faster than delete as it minimizes logging and does not support a where clause. It resets identity columns and is auto-committed. Example, truncate table employees. Here we are using the truncate table command to remove all rows by deallocating data pages. Use truncate for full table clearance and delete for conditional removal. The next question is purpose of the case statement in SQL. The case statement provides conditional logic similar to if-else constructs in programming. It evaluates conditions sequentially and returns a value when a condition is met. For example, here we are using the case statement to bifurcate salaries. If the salary is above 100k, then it is considered high. If it is between 50k and 100k, it is considered medium. Else, for other conditions, it is considered low. This statement is invaluable for data transformation, categorization, and dynamic column generation in queries. It supports both simple and searched forms, enhancing readability and reducing the need for multiple queries. The next question is difference between inner join, left join, right join, and full join. Inner join returns only matching rows from both tables. Non-matching rows are excluded. Left join returns all rows from the left table and matched rows from the right table. Unmatched right rows return null. Right join returns all rows from the right table and matched rows from the left table. Unmatched left rows return null. Full join returns all rows when there is a match in either table. Unmatched areas return null. Left and right joins are essential for including orphan records, while full join ensures complete data integration. The next question is difference between distinct and group by in SQL. Distinct is used to remove duplicates from a result set. It operates on all selected columns and returns unique combinations. Group by groups rows sharing common values and is typically used with aggregate functions. Example, sum, count, and others. It allows summarizing data per group. So here is the example of distinct. Here we are removing the duplicates from the department underscore ID column and the table name is employees. In the other example, that is under group by, we are grouping by the department ID column. While both can deduplicate data, group by enables advanced aggregation and filtering via having clauses. The next question is rules for using union operator in SQL. The union operator combines results from multiple select queries into a single result set. The rules include each query must have the same number of columns. Corresponding columns must have compatible data types. Column names are taken from the first query. And union removes duplicates. Union all retains them. Here is an example. We are using union to combine results from the employee as well as the manager's table. Union all is faster as it skips duplicate checks. Use union for distinct records and ensure column alignment. Next, we have aggregate functions in SQL. Aggregate functions perform calculations on a set of values and return a single value. Common functions include count, which returns the number of rows, sum that adds up numerical values, average that calculates the average. We also have the max or min function, which identifies the largest or smallest value respectively. These functions are essential for data summarization and are often used with group by for segmented analysis. Here is an example where we are finding the average of salaries. Okay, we have used the average function to achieve the same. Next question, what is a stored procedure in SQL? A stored procedure is a pre-compiled collection of SQL statements stored in the database. It accepts parameters, executes logic, and improves performance by reducing network traffic and enabling code reuse. Here is an example where we are creating a procedure getEmployee. The advantages also include enhanced security and maintainability. However, overuse can lead to high server memory usage. The next question, what is an index? Explain clustered versus non-clustered indexes. An index is a data structure that speeds up data retrieval by providing quick lookup paths. Clustered index determines the physical order of data in a table. Each table can have only one clustered index, example primary key. Non-clustered index creates a separate structure pointing to data rows. multiple non-clustered indexes are allowed. Let us see an example. Here we are creating an index. Indexes improve read performance but slow down writes due to maintenance overhead. The next example is what is normalization. Explain 1NF, 2NF and 3NF. Normalization organizes data to reduce redundancy and improve integrity. 1NF ensures atomic values. 2NF meets 1NF and removes partial dependencies. 3NF meets 2NF and removes transitive dependencies. Example, splitting a table with customer and order details into separate tables. Normalization minimizes anomalies but may increase query complexity. The next question is what is a subquery? Provide examples. A subquery is a query nested inside another query. It can be correlated or non-correlated. Non-correlated means independent on outer query. Here is an example of non-correlated. Correlated means dependent on outer query. Here we have another example for correlated, that is dependent on values from the outer query. You can clearly see the difference. Subqueries are used in select, where or from clauses but can be replaced with joins for better performance. The next question is difference between where and having clauses in SQL. Where filters rows before aggregation, it cannot use aggregate functions. Having filters groups after aggregation and requires group by, it can use aggregate functions. Let us see an example. In this example, we are using both where and having. The where operates on individual rows while having operates on grouped results. Question 13. What are window functions? Provide examples. Window functions perform calculations across a set of rows related to the current row without collapsing groups. Common functions include row underscore number to assign a unique sequential number, rank to assign ranks with gaps for ties, dense underscore rank to assign ranks without gaps, lead / lag which can be used to access next or previous row values. Window functions are idle for analytical tasks like running totals or rankings. Here is an example. Here we are using rank to assign ranks with gaps for ties. Question 14. What is a CT in SQL? Provide an example. A CT is a common table expression. It is a temporary result set defined within a query. It improves readability and simplifies complex queries. CTs can be recursive and are reusable within the same query. Let us see an example. In the example, we are creating a CT named DPT salaries. It selects department ID as well as the average salary of employees. With that, group by department ID ensures the average is calculated per department. With the select star from department salaries query, we are filtering departments. It selects all rows from department salaries where the average salary is greater than 70K. Next question, how to find the second highest salary in SQL? So this is one of the most common interview questions. It has multiple approaches. We can use limit and offset in systems like MySQL or PostgreSQL. Both of these are SQL based databases. The following is the query to find the second highest salary using the order by as well as the limit and offset. Another way is by using a subquery. In this example, what we are doing, we are using the max function as well as a subquery to find the second highest salary in SQL. So these two are the most common ways to find the second highest salary. The next question is what is ACID in databases? So ACID are properties that ensure transaction reliability in SQL. A stands for atomicity. This means transactions are all or nothing. C stands for consistency. This means transactions bring the database from one valid state to another. I stands for isolation. That means concurrent transactions do not interfere. D for durability. That means committed transactions persist despite failures. Databases use locking and logging to enforce asset. For example, commit saves changes permanently while rollback reverts pending changes. Difference between union and union all. Union combines results and removes duplicates. It is slower due to duplicate checks. Union all combines results without removing duplicates. It is faster and preferred when duplicates are acceptable. Use union all for performance critical queries if duplicate retention is acceptable. So here is an example of union all which merges results without discarding duplicates. What are triggers? Provide an example. Triggers are automatic procedures invoked on specific events like insert, update, etc. Let us see an example. Here we are creating a trigger log_salary_change. This trigger is designed to log salary changes in the employees table. The trigger name, as I said before, is log_salary_change. The event is after update. It activates after a row in the employees table is updated. Row level trigger is for each row. It runs once for every row that gets updated. And the action inserts the records into audit_table containing old.salary, the salary before the update, and new.salary, the salary after the update. Triggers enforce business rules or audit changes but can add overhead and complexity. How to handle null values? Use functions to manage nulls. Some of them include the following. Coalesce returns the first non-null value. Null if returns null if two values are equal. Is null or is not null? Check for nulls. Nulls represent missing data and require careful handling in aggregates and comparisons. Let us see an example. This SQL query is retrieving employee names and their salaries from the employees table, but it uses the coalesce function to handle missing or null salary values. It checks if salary is null. If salary is null, it replaces it with 0. If salary has a value, it keeps that value. What is a self join in SQL? Provide an example. A self join joins a table to itself. Example, employee manager relationships. Use aliases to distinguish between instances of the same table. Let us see an example. Here we are using left join. This query is designed to show each employee along with the name of their manager using a self join on the employees table. What is a recursive CTE? A recursive CTE references itself to process hierarchical data. Example, employee hierarchy. It must include a base case and a recursive union. Let us see an example. This is an example to find employee hierarchy. This SQL query uses a recursive CTE, that is common table expression, to build an organizational hierarchy starting from top level managers and working down through their subordinates. That's why the recursive CTE name is employee tree. How to optimize a slow SQL query? Optimization strategies include indexing, that is add indexes on filtered or joined columns. Second is use exist over n for correlated subqueries. Normalize or denormalize, balance read versus write needs. Analyze execution plans, that is use explain to identify bottlenecks. What is SQL injection? How to prevent it? SQL injection is a security vulnerability where malicious SQL is injected via input fields. Prevention methods include using parameterized queries to separate code from data, avoid dynamic SQL concatenation, sanitize inputs and enforce least privilege access. Let us see a quick example in PHP to avoid SQL injection. This ensures inputs are treated as data, not executable code. This PHP code snippet is using PHP data objects to safely query a database for a user based on their email addresses. This ensures inputs are treated as data, not executable code. Difference between OLTP and OLAP. OLTP is for online transaction processing. It handles short frequent transaction, example order entry. Focus is on data consistency and speed. OLAP is online analytical processing. It handles complex queries for analysis, example historical trends. Uses denormalized schemes, example star schema for read efficiency. OLTP databases are optimized for writes, while OLAP databases are optimized for reads. What are stored procedures, advantages and disadvantages? We already saw it, but we did not focus on the advantages and disadvantages. This is the important topic. Stored procedures are precompiled SQL code stored in a database. Advantages include enhanced performance, enhanced security and code reusability. Whereas disadvantages include database dependency and debugging complexity. Here is an example. In this example, we are defining a stored procedure named update salary that updates an employee's salary in the employees table. So guys, we saw the top 25 SQL interview questions and answers. Guys, if you liked the video, you can directly go to our channel and support us by subscribing and joining. Click on the join button. Herein you can support us, okay, by clicking join here. And you can also go to any of our video, okay, herein click on the three dots and click thanks. You can also directly support us here, okay. Thank you for watching.